friends, Andy C. Lewter here, and I want to welcome you to another one of my lessons for Lewter Life Coaches. I actually have two particular lessons that I'm anxious to share with you, and it's my hope, even my prayer, that either something said in or done over the course of these next several minutes will prove to be of benefit to you. Again, I am Andy C. Lewter, representing Lewter Life Coaches, and I have been engaged in this topic on rejection. Now, there were two items that I want to talk to you about. One is how to stop obsessing over the feelings of rejection in the past. And then I want to come behind that by offering you some simple strategies on how to bounce back, or rather, as you will hear me talk about, how to bounce forward from your rejections of the past. So with that said, that done, let's get started with our lesson of the day. Okay, friends, so I am back. Again, I'm Andy C. Lewter, and this is Lewter Life Coaches, and this is a particular lesson that we're sharing with you on behalf of our Lewter Life Coaching organization. This is the first of two lessons that I want to share with you, and this is how to stop obsessing over past rejections. So now, friends, rejection and fear of rejection are some of the most potent and unpleasant occurrences that people face daily. The sting of rejection is just what the name suggests, because that is precisely how you feel. You reach out to pluck a promising flower, such as a new love, interest, career opportunity, or friendship, only to find it to be met by unexpected and devastating, dismal, that seems like an attack. Now, rejection causes a vicious cycle of obsession. This is why once your partner dumps you, you'll spend a lot of time obsessing about them, chatting about them, pondering where they are, psychoanalyzing their conduct, analyzing their thoughts, and following them, even on social networks. So even though you are aware somewhere in your mind that the relationship has come to an end and has been terminated, you continue to pursue them on social media and other platforms. And even if you're not talking or conversing about this person, you're using a lot of your time and a lot of your energy trying to keep yourself from ruminating over the relationship. You continue to ask yourself, what went wrong and what could you have done differently? Now, the same thing applies to your situations at work. You continuously go over in your mind time and time again, what could I have done differently that would have rendered a different result? Now, according to Psych Alive, looking at our history can help us understand how we process a rejection. Unfortunate present events can often trigger emotions from our past. For example, we may be more inclined to suffer from a loss when we experience an insecure attachment style early in our lives. As adults, we often unconsciously seek out and recreate the emotional climate of our past, even though it was painful. We may select partners who are less available or more rejecting. We may feel more longing towards people or circumstances that make us feel the same negative way we felt or have always felt about ourselves. So here are some strategies to help you overcome that. And what I'm trying to say here is that unknowingly, subconsciously, when we've had these rejections in the past, we unconsciously seek them out in our future. So some of the same things that have haunted us and hurt us in the past, we find ourselves recreating the climate, recreating the situation that's going to repeat itself for us in the future. So the question is, what do we do about it? Number one, assess your past and why you were rejected in the first place. Some rejections aren't as personal as they appear to be. On Facebook, for instance, love rejection means that some stranger made a quick decision based on factors you'll never know about in less than 20 seconds. However, if you use to be a part of a workplace happy hour gang and your after work drink invitations begin to shrink and are reduced or have suddenly gone away, it may be time for you to reconsider your involvement. But here's what's more important. Ask yourself the question, why? Item number 2, give yourself time to work over your hurt emotions. That's right. Time can be an ally and time can be a friend. Your dreams have been shattered. Perhaps you've discovered that your crush isn't mutual or your pal has stopped returning your calls. This might elicit a tangle of emotions, and acknowledging each one can help you start the healing process. Until you identify it and until you acknowledge it, you can't heal. You cannot move on from where you are. And then, this is one of my personal favorites, vent. That's right, let me say it again, vent. Someone kind and willing to listen is the best person to vent to, but set a limit for yourself. Allow yourself 15 minutes to talk about it before stopping and changing the subject. And then once you change the subject, do not return to it. So it's important to vent. It's important to get it out. My mother used to say, there's more room on the outside than there is on the inside. But once you've done that, once you have interacted with that activity, let it go. Don't dwell on it forever, but let it go after a specified period of time. And then meditate. Your mind is on autopilot when you're obsessed with something. The reason is stilled and allowed to rest during meditation. Have you tried meditation? Use an app like Calm to help you relax. Now, I know that we're all Christians, and this word meditation is something that we're very, very familiar with, but it is an underused strategy in our Christian walk and in our faith walk. And so what I'm suggesting that you do is that you relax your mind, that you detangle yourself from all of the emotions that are haunting you and holding you hostage. Well, friends, that takes up just about all of my time, and I certainly want to thank you for yours. I am Andy C. Lewter from Lewter Life Coaches, and this is just one of 2 particular lessons that I'm sharing with you in this episode. Now, let's move quickly to the second. Now, friends, this episode or this portion of my lesson is entitled How to Bounce Back from Rejection. I have a sister who joins me in this enterprise of Lewter Life Coaches, and she has a course on resilience. If you've not taken it, I strongly recommend that you do. But in that course, she redefines this term because typically we think of resilience as bouncing back, but she introduces a term that is bouncing forward, not bouncing back, not looking backwards, but rather looking forward. And so she uses the term bouncing forward. And so I want to kind of borrow some of her wisdom today and talk to you about ways to bounce forward from your past rejections. At some point in our lives, we've all been rejected, and it can be painful and take years to recover from. We all want to be liked and appreciated as human beings, because one of our most essential elements for existence is a sense of belonging to a group. A fear of rejection has naturally developed into our brain. Now, I've shared this with you before, but I think it is worthy of repetition, and that is in our primordial past. If you were expelled from the group, the tribe, the town, the village, your life was at risk because it was extremely difficult to survive on your own, and there was safety in numbers. And so over thousands of years, our mind has developed this innate fear of rejection, because in the past, it meant if I am rejected, my life is at risk and I reduce the potential and the opportunity to survive. Why? Because I cannot survive apart from the group. So if the group rejects me, that is in essence a death sentence. Now, we're in a postmodern world now, the Industrial Revolution. We're sophisticated, we're civilized, we're no longer living in that primordial past, but it is so part of the definition of the past until it continues to haunt us and even hold us hostage, even in this day and time wherein we live, abide, and exist. So you could be wondering if you're competent enough, if you should keep going, and if you have what it takes, watch this, to accomplish your goals. All of these emotions are indeed, beloved, natural. As author Jeb Blount wrote in his book, Objections, the Ultimate Guide for Mastering the Art and Science of Getting Past, no humans are hardwired to feel pain. And when we get rejected, and when we feel that pain, Blount wrote, it triggers fear, whether that's anticipated, perceived, or real. Now, that fear is real. It could be a figment of our imagination. It could be anticipated. It could be perceived. But whatever it is real. And so you have to understand the necessity that you have to respond to the reality of that which is real in your life. So according to Life Hack, we then flog ourselves with what? Self-blame, debilitating guilt, over accountability, and hopeless thoughts about the future. Now, watch this. Romantic rejections are where we tend to be the most vulnerable, and we're left raw to our core. However, it doesn't have to be this way. Friends, you can recover. And so let me give you just some simple strategies that you can employ to overcome the rejection of the past and prove to live a productive life in the future. Remember, you can't lose what you don't have. You may believe that you're a lesser person when you're rejected, but this is not the case. You're still the same person you were before the rejection. You're still a committed professional. If you weren't promoted despite your dedication, and that happens so often. We show dedication, we show commitment, we show consistency, only to be overlooked, and that leaves us with this haunting feeling of rejection. But here is the reality: even before you felt rejected, you're still the same person. So don't let that moment of rejection, watch this, define, beloved, who you are. Listen, you haven't earned anything, but neither have you forfeited anything. As a result, you have two options, friends. You may either be optimistic that they will eventually recognize your worth and promote you, or you can channel your disappointment into motivation to pursue a new opportunity. Now, consider rejection. Watch this. I know it's going to sound a little odd, but consider rejection as a lesson to reflect upon, what you can add rather than what you can eliminate. Here's another item. Embrace the anguish without succumbing to it. Many accomplished people either conceal it or overindulge when it comes to rejection, which is in fact counterproductive. Allowing oneself to feel pain is the first step in dealing with it. The agony of rejection is an indication that you're mourning the loss of what you wanted. If you ignore the pain, it will simply come back later in a potentially harmful form, such as binge drinking or rage outbursts. So I can't emphasize this enough. You've got to deal with it. The worst thing you can do is ignore it. And beloved, ignoring it is not a remedy, nor does ignoring it erase it or cause it to go away. Find the confidence to expand your horizons. Rejection might expose places where we haven't yet matured. For example, if you're inclined to self-doubt or have a harsh inner critic who constantly exposes your inadequacies, rejection will exacerbate your feeling of inadequacy. Take advantage of the chance to learn more about the origin, watch this, beloved, the origin of these thoughts. Rejection is one of the most challenging experiences in life, especially if you're accustomed to success. It doesn't have to be a crippling condition. If we have the bravery and the humility to look behind the disappointment of rejection, we will quickly bounce back from it. Well, friends, again, that takes up all of my time, and I certainly want to thank you for yours. I am Andy Sugar. Listen, I invite you to visit us at lifecoach.podia.com. Let me say that again, lifecoach.podia.com, where we have assembled a number of courses for your consideration. Listen, look forward to these mini courses that we are prepared for you. I actually make this available in the interim and in between the larger ongoing 4-week and 6-week courses that we have on grief management, resilience, and a number of other topics as well. So till next time, do know God loves you. We love you. We look forward to seeing you soon. God bless.